Sometimes you ask yourself, are you successful? You learn how to manage your money and you put money into savings. Money sitting in savings doesn't really help you. It doesn't earn money. You're not earning money on your money. Success. Success.
Hi, thanks for tuning in for Success MN. This is a local Minnesota podcast talking about people who have become successful in their own line of work, whether they've started their own business, had a side hustle, or just been highly successful at their W-2 job. And here we are connecting people. Tune in, see who's on board today. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are here with my esteemed friend. I want to say colleague, but like we've never really worked together.
Well, we bartended together.
We did bar. Well, even then I was bottle service.
Okay, but all right.
Anyway, Adara Smith, Adara Thomas. She's got a couple different names that she's gone by, but she has always been such a good friend to me, and I'm happy to have your support. I really feel like since you and I became friends, that, and now maybe it's because of you, but that's when my career took off.
Well, I'll take the credit.
So I just really appreciate our friendship over the years.
Me too.
And I don't think you know this, but you are my only friend that has said no to financial opportunity out of loyalty to me.
Wow.
Think about that.
I like that.
Yeah. So you're probably the realest one.
The realest ones say no. That's true.
That's true. That's true. So that being said, like, you are one of the most successful people I know.
Wow. Thank you.
Tell me about your jobs.
Tell
me, literally, jobs, businesses,
yes,
everything you got, hobbies.
Yeah. I don't think you have hobbies when you have jobs.
Yeah.
But I have. I've worked in the automotive industry for almost a decade, coming up on 10 years.
Yeah,
which is crazy. But I feel the same way. I feel like once, you became one of my real close inner circle friends, that when you surround yourself with people who are successful and drive themselves to be successful, they push you to be better. So I do feel the same way, where I began to surround myself with people who I thought were as successful or more successful than me. I saw myself level up. So I've been in the finance department for 7 years, going on 7 years now.
You weren't always in finance?
No.
Oh, I thought.
Who knew? I
thought you were always a numbers girl.
No, I actually, I started in internet sales. Oh. I know.
So people would buy a car.
So you go online and you're like, hey, I'm looking at this little 2000 blah, blah, blah. I'm the person who's like, come on in, girl, let's go look at it. And sell a car from there. That was my first job. Yeah, I was bartending. I bartended through school, and I know that people will identify with this. I bartended through college, and I was at graduation, and everything was great. And I was bartending with this guy, Montrell, huge guy. He's like 7 feet tall. He's like, oh, congratulations. So what are you gonna do now? And I was like, oh, shit.
There's a next step.
What? I got to do something.
I mean, you don't have to. But.
Man, so I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was the type of person that was like, I changed my major. I was doing this. I'm going to do that. I really didn't know what I wanted to do in life. So I ended up with just a general, bachelor's of liberal arts. Didn't specify in anything. Just got a degree.
There's so many people that just get a degree.
Yeah, just to put it on the resume. So he was selling cars at Mazda, and he was like, well, you should apply at my company and see how it goes. And I applied. They hired me in internet sales, and then I got promoted a year later. I was actually a sales manager for a year.
Yeah, of course you were.
Yep. And then found my stride working in finance. And that was kind of like the middle of, being a manager of paperwork and numbers and being a manager of people. And also with a little bit of sales sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm.
So
probably a lot of sales.
A lot of sales sprinkled in, yes. Lots of closing of deals. And then just a couple of years ago, started my business with my partner. And that is he's 15 years in the construction industry. And so we went down that construction path, and he does a lot of the manual labor, all of the manual labor. I go to the site and take pictures for social media. That's my manual labor. But
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been now I've been juggling both for the last couple of years in working business and then working my career.
So the business, it's junk removal.
Junk removal, demolition, and final cleaning, which it's a lot.
I had you come, and the house that I live in now, it needed a bunch of demolition, junk removal, and working with you was so easy.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to have someone. I gave you the keys.
Yep.
Like, here, take it. I want this gone, this gone, this gone. And then I came back 2 days later, and your team was ripping out staples out of my hardwood floor.
It's laborious work.
It's a lot. I was like, I didn't even think that carpet left staples behind. But man, that's hard.
Yeah.
And they didn't miss one.
Yep. And it's nice to my partner who is, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he really does when he goes into a house, and especially in demolition, like he can go into a house and, boom, 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 don't touch that, turn off the water, electricity here. And he just, and he's so fast. So it's really nice to have that. And then I've got my financial background. And so the two of us together just.
Dream team.
Dream team.
That's it's really cool. What made you take the jump? Well, I mean, not that you fully left the W-2 world, but to take the 9-to-5 job and then add on a business. What was the motivation for that?
Well, I think one of the things when you learn how to manage your money and you put money into savings, money sitting in savings doesn't really help you. It doesn't earn money. You're not earning money on your money. And so I was trying to figure out, what can I do with this money that I have just sitting here, not earning anything? It needs to be put to work for me. And this is something that my partner we talked about it, I would say a year prior to even starting it. We had talked about it, toyed with it. It wasn't really, I don't know. He ended up getting laid off, in the construction world, as it happens. He got laid off, and he happened to, or I think I came upon a truck and a trailer that was for sale, and it was in budget, and it was just like, all right, I guess now's the time. Let's just sink or swim, just do it. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely my type of personality is I'm a just go do it type of person.
Yeah, figure it out.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
One way or another. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's we talked with a lot of entrepreneurs getting this started, and that's, I think, the number one thing that they've said is you just got to get started. Mm-hmm. Just get started.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. That's cool that you guys actually were here's our opportunity. This is the time. Yeah, you got laid off, but it happens.
Yeah.
Let's take the next step.
Yeah. And it's still scary. It's scary every day because it's not somebody else's money. When you're at work and you're working for someone, it's somebody else's money you're playing with. Mm-hmm. When it's your business, it's my money.
Yeah.
It's our money. It's very, very different than working for Joe Schmo.
Mm-hmm. Does that do you ever get into hyper analysis mode of, well, here we spent a little bit too much money on this job.
Okay, so I have been accused of micromanaging the finances.
Accused of,
which
never guilty.
Could
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But it's all important because this is gonna sound bad, but I need to know how many trash bags we used at a job site.
Yeah.
Because I need to know how much that job cost us.
Yeah.
I have to know. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I need to know if we used 1 box or 2 boxes or 4 boxes at a job, because 1 box costs us $30.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a $30 cost, or is it a $120 cost, you know? And so those are the kinds of little...
That range is huge.
It is. And it all matters. And again, when it's your own pennies and dollars, it's so important that you're tracking it, and because you can't make money. You can't arrive somewhere if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah. You
don't know where you're at, you'll never get there.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that we, at my company, we talk about the tracking all the time.
Yep.
People will say, I'm not making sales. I can't do this. And I'm like, okay, well, what work have you put into it?
Yeah.
And
how many calls have you made?
And if they're not tracking it, they don't know. And like, it's just it's all money. It's all trackable. And once you start tracking your success, it becomes a measurable amount, or tracking your trash bags. It becomes a measurable amount of something tangible.
Yeah.
So I think, like, even though you were just accused of being micromanaging for the money, I think it's key to you building your business.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
I think, that's great.
I'll tell him you said that.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't have him come for me now. He knows where I live.
Said it's great. Melissa said it's great.
He knows where I live, remember? Don't send him on me. I think, like, if you could, with your starting your own business, if you could do anything differently initially, what would be the one thing you would change?
Initially, okay, you know what I did this is probably the only thing I regret doing, is I signed up for leads. I paid for leads, and they were so expensive, and we just thought we had to do it, and we didn't allow our growth to be organic, and we spent a lot of money paying for leads that other people were also paying for, that were extremely hard to close, and it just wasn't worth it. And we just spent so much money. And, whatever, learning experience, it is what it is now. But it was just like, I wish we had trusted ourselves to allow that organic growth to actually happen. And it has, 2 years later, like it's there now. But in the beginning, we're just like panicked, like, nobody's calling us. What do we do?
It's very scary when your phone doesn't ring.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that's a trap a lot of people get into, is like, I mean, and then everybody says it takes money to make money.
And it does.
But
not in that way.
No. I think, like, I don't know. The economy right now is very much switching. And we're talking a lot about going back to basics. And that basics, imagine, okay, so you could have paid for leads, or you could have sent him out door knocking.
Right.
Everyone's got an extra microwave in the garage that they got to get rid of. All right, give me $40. I'll get rid of your microwave for you.
Yeah.
I think
that's real expensive for a microwave.
I don't know anything about junk removal. You're micromanaging the numbers, okay? I'm just trying to make you a little extra money here, okay?
Okay, yeah, $40 a microwave.
You heard it here, folks. For only $40, she's gonna remove your microwave for you. But like, I think it's just that back to basics. Everyone thinks that there's a shortcut, and everyone thinks that there's an easy way to make money, and
it's never easy.
No.
Doesn't matter. There's no shortcuts. I don't care what anybody says.
No. I think, shortcut is doing good business, and then people will find you. So I think success looks different to everybody.
Yeah.
How do you define success? Also, I want everyone to understand how hard of a worker she is. Like, she is constantly working. She's,
all the time.
That being said, how do you define a success?
Yeah. I mean, I think success it's so different in wherever you are in life. We're all in, what did success look like when I was 18? Like, I can afford my top shelf drink at the bar.
Hey.
That was success at, when I'm 18 years old. Oh, wait, not at the bar. I couldn't drink then yet, but you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean? That was success at 18. Like, I can afford to just live my life and be cool, I had my daughter pretty young. I was 19, 20 when I had her. And so then success changed a little bit. What does success look like when you've got a kid, right? It's food, it's housing, it's daycare, it's all of those things so that my daughter is provided for and taken care of. So as you know, I was part of Jeremiah program, which is huge part of my life, and helped me in my success. So that's a program for single moms where they support you with housing, they support you with childcare, and they support you with homework help or, whatever it is that you need. It was a system to help mothers who were in school. So I was still in college at this time. So that was success at that point. Finishing college was success at that point in my life. And then, once I graduated, I hit 25. Now it's career success. How do I move up the chain? And then one day I'm like, man, I need a stable home for my daughter. And then success was providing that for her. Yeah. And today, success looks like, I feel like I've found my stride in my career. I've found I've got a business that I'm running that is kind of making money. We're positive.
Positive is huge. I mean, keep going. I'll save the props for when you're done with you're on a roll. I'm going to save your props.
Yeah. So, and then it's making sure that I have time to spend with my family. It's making sure that I'm cultivating relationships with friends and that I'm not cutting those parts of my life out to have financial success. So it's maintaining my lifestyle, maintaining my success in that life, and then adding to that the balance of friendship and family and relationship. And right now that is what success looks like to me. And that's what I'm striving for right now.
Yeah. Just so you're working to have more time to do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So the thing that I'm reserving, the mad props, how many years did it take you to get your junk removal company in the green? Most companies take 5 years before they're profitable.
Yeah, it was in our second year. Yeah. We're about 3 years now. So this is our second year that
See?
It's because I counted the trash bags.
It's the trash bag counting. And when I say no one works harder than you, that's what it is. Like, you don't get those numbers without putting hard work in.
Yep. So. And get into the grind. And I love sales. I'm a saleswoman at heart. Like, I love it. I love talking to people. And let me rephrase that. I love consulting because I don't believe you're going to sell anything to someone that they don't want and that they don't need. And so when you can sit with somebody, and whether it's working in cars or in demolition or whatever it is, if you can sit with someone and figure out what their goals are, where do we need to be? How can I help you to get there? And that's it. And then you're meeting with someone, you're consulting, and you're figuring out together how I can help you reach where you want to be, whether it's, again, a car, or it's, financing a car, or it's, rebuilding a kitchen. How can we help you? Staples in the carpet.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think I don't know, there's always a reason that somebody comes into someone's life. But while you were developing your sales tactics, I was also developing mine. And I have always said, there is nothing I can say to anybody to make them buy one house or another.
Never.
That's it.
Yeah.
Real estate's not sales either. I think sales is a myth.
100%.
It is.
Absolutely.
There's no salesperson out there.
No. If you don't want it, you're not going to buy it. Period.
Right. Right. I mean, what is it about?
I don't know. We're going to get some hate for that one.
I can't wait.
I've been sold.
Go ahead, help my algorithm. Hate in the comments. I don't care. Go ahead. So, I mean, that being said, what keeps you going? Do you ever get tired?
Oh my God, all the time. Who doesn't get tired?
Yeah.
Yes. It's especially I would say in the W-2 world, that role is a lot of pressure. And the store that I work at, I don't know if I should name them, but the store I work at is, the loan amounts are large. And it's a lot of pressure to make sure that we're profitable on these, on these loans, and making sure that we've got, we're setting the customer up for success, and we're setting the store up for success, and we're making sure the paperwork is correct. And these are people that send, they send their assistants in to do their work for you. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's some money.
It's money.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of pressure, and that can be really tiring and really difficult. And in those moments where I'm feeling like I'm burnt out, I just book a vacation.
Hey. You scroll back far enough on my feed, you'll see me and Adara in Cancun together. So, Tulum,
yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I get that too. Like, burnout is real.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're performing at the level that you're performing at. And it's just so important to make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a faith person, so I definitely like take the time to pray and meditate and allow the things that are giving me anxiety to be released. And you have to let the things go that are not in your control. There are things that are just outside of my control, and I have to be able to release those things and move on.
Yeah.
And that's so important. And you can't stick on these little things that that are outside of your control or that are hard to deal with. Deal with it, do it, let it go, move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like we all have that thing that keeps us going, and then we have that thing that keeps us grounded.
I like that.
Thank you.
Coin it.
Well, it's getting published. You heard it here first. Yes. But it's just so important that you've got a strong foundation too.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I mean, without a strong foundation, you really don't have that reason to keep going. So I get it. Make sure you take care of your people.
Yep.
Take care of yourself.
Yep. Love yourself.
So I think are there any regular habits that you do? I mean, you kind of talked about like faith, your meditation. Is there anything else you do that helps keep you successful?
Yes. Schedule.
Really?
I have to, if it's not on my schedule, it does not exist. Everything goes in my calendar. It's the best thing I have ever done for myself. Whether you have a Siri or you have a Google, hey Siri, put it on my calendar. Like, she just woke up.
She's always listening.
But literally everything goes on my calendar, and I get a reminder. Best thing I've done for myself. The other thing I do is I write things down. So like I said earlier, if you don't know where you're going, how do you know if you've got there? How do you know when you get there if you don't know where you're going? And so I write down my goals.
Do you do it do you just write it on a Post-it note, stick it on the mirror, or do you use the reminders app?
I'm a little bit more structured than that. So I like to do, and this is a skill that I learned, I can't even tell you when, many, many years ago. But I start with my long-term goals. And I did this one about my house. What was my long-term goal? By 30, I want to own a home. That was my long-term goal. And this was me at 25, 26. And okay, so that's 5 years down the road. So what do I need to do? Where do I need to be in year 4? And where do I need to be in year 3, year 4? I need to have my money saved up, and I need to be looking, right? That's where I need to be in year 4. So what does that mean for year 3? Well, year 3, I should have, at least half my down payment saved by then.
Yeah.
Right. And that means that in year 2 and year 1, I need to have a job. I need to have a career that's going to enable me to save how much money I need to save. And that's how I did it. And so I start, all right, so today here I am selling cars. I need a better job. It's not enough. So my step 1 is, how do I get to the next level of my employment? Boom, I did that. all right, now that I'm here and I'm at the income level, how do I start saving? So I met with a financial planner that said, here's how we're going to do it. Money is going to go here. This money is going to go there. Year 3, I had half my down payment saved. Year 4, I was ready to go. Mm-hmm. And it took me a year to find a house.
Well, you bought in a hard time.
I was 31. I didn't make it by 30, but that's okay.
I mean, you were ready at 30.
I was ready.
You were ready at 30. That was a hard journey.
It was. And so that's how the process. So if I don't know, in 5 years, if I want to be there, I'm going to run all the way around and jump. And then 5 years later, I'm like, I didn't get here. What happened? Mm-hmm. But if you know how your steps are, then you'll know, oh, I'm halfway there now. Mm-hmm. That's right. Look at me. I can look back and say, wow, look where I was. Now I'm where I want to be, halfway there, and I'm going to reach my goal in the next 2.5 years on that 5-year goal I set. So that's I tell that to everyone who wants to have a business, anybody who wants to graduate school, anything, have a career change, anything that you want to do, you have to set yourself up for success. You have to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. I think that's so huge. I hear people say all the time, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to. And I'm like, do it.
Yep.
You've been saying this for 4 years.
Exactly.
Do it. And I don't know. I just like, the more I hear that from people, the more I'm like, I don't know whose time you're wasting.
Do you know the saying I go by?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Okay.
That's what I tell myself. I tell myself all the time, don't talk about it, be about it, which means just start.
Yeah.
You got it. You have to do the work. Anybody can have a dream. Anybody with a little intelligence or a little whatever, anybody can have a dream. Mm-hmm. But if you don't do it, you don't set your goals, you don't start the work, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. I think like, we're talking semantics now, but I think a lot of people talk about how like they want to fulfill their dream. They want to fulfill their dream. Okay, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. But like
blah, blah.
If you just say, I want to do this and you don't have your goals strictly outlined like that, all it is a blah, blah, blah
it's
dream.
A blah, blah, blah. 100%.
That's all it is. So quit with your blah, blah, blah. People. Just, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I think, and we're back to tracking and outlining goals and making sure that you get there.
Yep.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
So I think like we got to talk a little bit about houses. We kind of touched on your house, but this is a real estate podcast. What's your home like? And like how we kind of talked about like, sure, what it took to buy your house, but you've had so many different housing situations. Tell me about like your home journey. Like,
yeah. Well, I moved out, when I was 17, went to school, went to college, moved out of the house.
You were in college at 17?
I was just younger than everybody. I didn't go early, but I was at my
she went early.
I was just a baby of the class. That's all. So I moved out and, that was fun. And I grew up with a very strict mother. Mm-hmm. And then I got to college and I was like, oh my God, I don't have a curfew.
She was out
like crazy.
all night.
Went like crazy. I did. I'll never forget. Okay, this is off track, but this is like the first college party I was at, right? And this guy comes up to me and my roommate is Missy. And he's like, so what time do you guys got to be home? And I looked and I was like, I don't gotta be home.
You're like, I don't got a bedtime.
Never.
And she never went home, guys.
And I never went home. Never went back. So. Anyway, so that was like, and then I got pregnant with my daughter and moved out, and we had a little tiny apartment that we lived in. And then I went to Jeremiah program, which provided a 2-bedroom housing arrangement for us, for Natalia and I.
I want to how do you get into that program for anybody who's listening to this and they're thinking about someone who wants to get into it? How do you?
Yes, it is not for the faint of heart. I will say that it is a rigorous program. It's not just for a free handout. You really have to be dedicated to finishing school, to having a career when you're done, committed to raising your children, in education. It really is centered around education. That's what it's for. And so it's, you take empowerment classes before you can be admitted into the program. You have to go through their classes.
Mm-hmm.
And
are those classes rigorous too?
Those are rigorous classes. They are. You really have to do a lot of soul searching. Mm-hmm. It's not just, oh, hey, maybe I'll go to college, maybe I'll go to school. No, you really have to dig deep and find out, they call it what your core hurts are. What are your core hurts? What are the things that
hurts? Like
core hurts.
Pain?
Yeah. Things that you had, the trauma, we could now, 2023, your traumas, your childhood, your generational traumas, essentially.
It's a much easier word to say. Hurts.
It hurts. The core hurts. And so, and it's digging into what those are, and are you passing them to your kid, and how do we stop from passing those generational traumas on to our children? And so you start there. And I think we started with a class of maybe 12 people, and 4 of us made it into the program.
Wow.
So it's intense, and you really have to be dedicated. And so I recommend it to any young mother. And this one is specifically for mothers. I know there's some out there for fathers as well. Obviously, I'm not a dad, so I don't know what I don't have information on those, but there are programs for men as well. This one specifically is for mothers. And I always recommend it if you're wanting to finish an education, if you're wanting nursing school, or being able to set yourself up and your child up for success. I highly, highly recommend you look into the Jeremiah program. Once you get into empowerment classes, or you get through it, you get accepted, you're enrolled in school, you have to either be volunteering or have a job, and your child or children are enrolled in the daycare center, which is on site at your apartment building, which is amazing.
Perfect. Yeah. That's so nice.
It's great.
That is key.
Yeah. And I definitely give a lot of my success to that program because it allowed me to finish school. There's no way I would have ever finished school as a young single mother without being provided those necessities. Mm-hmm. And it's such a huge part of my story. And after that, we lived, apartment hopped, and they always raise the rent about once a year. So you got to move again. And, and then, buying the house I grew up in the same house my entire life with my siblings and my mom. And I just wanted my daughter to have that, and for her to have a room that she could paint however she wanted to paint it and decorate, for her to grow up with it. It started off pink and purple, and now it's green with vines all over the place. So
she's got a lot of really cool lights in there.
She's got some, wheels have changed a little bit too. We had we had the unicorn light at first, and now it's
There's something like a shimmery green light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and it's grown with her, and it's cool to just let her personality kind of show through that. And when you live in apartments, it's harder to do. Mm-hmm. It's harder to allow your home and your living space to reflect who you are as a person or who your child is as a person. So that's really just the dream. And the backyard, you're like, oh, go play outside, go ride your bike around the block, Yeah.
You do have a good yard.
I do.
Yeah. You got a really cute house too.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're just good at decorating or what, but
Rosa. Thanks, Rosa. She definitely made me some. She made vision boards for me. See.
She didn't do that for me. For everybody listening who doesn't know Rosa is our professional organizer, cleaner extraordinaire. She's incredible. She also does marketing now.
Yeah, social media marketing. She's good. Very good.
She's incredible. But I didn't know she came up with a floor.
I paid her.
I didn't know that was an option, is what I'm saying.
She's very good at it. She did like a vision board, and she's like, buy this, buy that, this couch, this TV, this stand. Yeah. I could never do that. I can't do that at all. I wish I was that person. Mm-hmm. I wish I could walk into a room and be like, "Ooh, I know exactly what it's going to look like." No, I can't.
I can't.
It's just not in me.
No.
I'm not a visionary like that. I wish I was.
I just think it's so important that you know your strengths.
Yes.
Know your strengths, and then surround yourself with the people who make up for where you lack.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you got really lucky with Rosa.
Yeah. Well, she got lucky with me too.
That's true. That's true. And I just am here to pick up the scraps. But that's incredible. Break for a while, wait, Claw.
Okay. Text my baby.
I'm not used to being on camera still.
I haven't looked at myself once. I don't want to.
Oh, don't look over there. Look here, though. Oh. Like, whenever you, like, make a point. Yeah. Okay. I think when I was on it with Tyler. Oh, my God. I've been talking too much. He was like, so, you should jump in her DMs. And I was like, if you are a lender, talk to me. If you are a boy, leave me alone.
Period.
It was funny. Okay.
All right, I feel like I've gotten louder. Have I gotten louder?
You did.
Yeah.
I'm not a loud person. I'm just.
Yeah, it's because it projects a little bit from there. It's a little too low.
Greatest mentor.
I ain't got none of those.
We kind of like talked. Okay. What's one phrase that you live by?
Do
you have another one? Yeah. I think we're already to the who's one successful person that you think would have fun on this podcast. We're already there. We did it.
Wow, look at us.
Oh, we've been talking for like 45 minutes already.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Very, very insightful stuff. Somebody over here.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like this has been 10 minutes. This is just like what it's like to get dinner with Melissa and Adara.
Right?
Like, this is what we do. I think I like, okay, we can hop back into it. But so, there's been so many times in my life where I'm struggling and I'm like, Adara, I do not see the solution to this problem. And you provide such a unique perspective to me. You're like, well, this person came from a different place that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Think of how they're looking at it. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, God, I'm self-centered.
Everybody is. Everybody is self-centered. Don't worry about that.
But I think you're the only person that tells me that, which is nice.
Yes.
Because every once in a while, like often, I think we all need to get checked.
Well, I think here's my philosophy in friends. If I can't be honest with you, we are not friends.
Yeah.
Period. And if you can't be honest with me, then we are not friends.
Yeah.
And it's the most important thing within my friendships is that I can be 100% honest and with you, and you can be 100% honest with me and know that it comes from a place of love and support and wanting success.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know that have been like, well, they just told me what I want to hear. Nobody wants to be told what they want to hear for forever.
No.
They want to be told the truth. And that's what good friends are for.
Yeah.
That's what good friends are.
I mean, it's true. Like if you're not being honest with somebody, you're building on a lie.
Yeah.
So
it's not even that. I wouldn't even say it's building on a lie. It's just that it's scary. It's scary to be honest with people, and it's scary to say, "Hey, you might be in the wrong in this situation," and be scared of losing a friend because it's tough. It's tough to hear the truth about yourself sometimes, but and that's why I like to surround myself with successful people, because only successful people truly want to hear the truth about themselves.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And it's the only way to get better. Like you need your friend to shine the light in the dark corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. It's the only way.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Listening to people be like, "Ooh, girl, you do it right every time."
I mean, you mostly do. If only you were better at counting these garbage bags. So,
So also, I don't know if the audio, can you hear me in the headphones?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
The difference with people who are trauma dumping versus vent are like,
Ooh.
we're actually like, they might not be in the place to even hear the truth. So sometimes people will be like, well, it's a waste of energy to be.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's real. I think, like, you talked about, like, your growth in, like, the Jeremiah Project. And I don't know who you were before that, but I feel like that being so, like,
it's
honest
party girl.
and open.
No, I wasn't.
Who wasn't? But, like, that being so, because everyone has trauma. Everyone has something that they've been through. And so many people just ignore it. and they don't talk about like, okay, this trauma has affected me, and that's how I treat the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having that experience in your past has been like very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And like the older I get, the more I'm like, maybe I do have traumas.
We all do. I think literally everybody does. And it's not about like who your parents are and how much money you had and blah, blah, like that. It doesn't matter. Everybody experiences some type of hurt and some level of pain in their life. And it's relative, sure. Like the person who grew up, with in the streets is not going to have the same trauma and experience that I had growing up in a house, but I had a single mom. So, somebody with two parents is not going to have the same experience that I had, but it doesn't minimize or make that pain and trauma any less. It's only relative to what your life experience is.
I think it's relative, but it can't be compared. Like,
I disagree.
You think it can be compared?
I think it can be compared because you only know your life experience. And so if your, life experience is this big and your life experience is this big, that level of pain is still the same amount. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Like, I think the difference that we're kind of touching on is the difference between equitability. What is that?
Equitability? Yeah, I'm like...
And equality.
Equality.
Like for something to be equitable, it's different than for something to be equal.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not equal. It's not like, having I don't know. It's not equal, but you can compare it because it's I don't ever like to dismiss someone's trauma and pain because they had a better life than I did. Mm-hmm. It does not mean that their pain is any less than mine because they had the things that I wanted to have as a child or whatever the case is. It doesn't mean that their life was any easier per se.
Yeah.
The trauma is going to be, I know, no, we don't need to go down that path. This goes a little dark. We need to go that way.
All right. We know people that have had it worse, and we know people that have had it better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess what I was trying to say with you is like you're saying if people in your circle aren't really trying to grow, like really learn from themselves, then it's like you're not really going to have them in your circle. There's some people in your friends that maybe they don't really want to like
in your inner circle.
Yeah, I'll be friends with them.
Yeah. Not to say that like they're not worthy of being a friend or but yeah, I would say like that I would not consider someone who I can't be honest with. And even like you don't have to want to grow. That's up to you. But I still need to be able to tell you the truth.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. It's okay. You are who you are. And that's definitely like, you got to accept people for who they are and where they are in life. Mm-hmm. And if you're content and you're happy, and then, you ask me my opinion about something and I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And so it's not about how you receive it, you know what I mean? Or what you do with it, I suppose. It's not about what you do with that information. If you want to take it and be like, she's wrong, that's okay.
As long as you can say it without getting like... Right.
But don't like, I don't really agree. And that's okay. You ain't got to agree with me. That's fine. And it's not harshness. It's not being harsh. It's not, it's careful and it's considerate and it's thoughtful and it's honest,
That being said, I think we're knocking on the door, wrapping up here. So
I just want to do it one time.
Yeah, go ahead, get your echoes in.
Okay.
Yeah. These mics are so good they pick up the neighbors' noises. But I think that you probably have an excellent recommendation for somebody who would be interesting.
I do.
On this podcast.
I actually do. I was thinking about this when I heard you, anyways, I heard your previous podcast. I was thinking about this. And you know who it is? Actually my mom. Mm-hmm. She is a business owner. She owns a home we grew up in. She was a single mom that raised 5 kids. And I would say she's successful.
I would also say she's successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of us, none of her kids are in jail. Nobody's in prison.
They're all good.
We're all
kids.
alive.
Good kids. They're all successful. Like,
yeah. So you could even talk, or Cal, my brother.
I'll get both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think my mom would, she's not as funny as I am, but.
Well, I'll be in charge of the jokes then.
She's a lot more serious, but she would. Yeah,
she'd be good.
She'd be good.
Are you the funniest person in your family?
Cal would probably argue that he is, but I definitely think I am.
He'd argue it and then you tell a joke.
Yeah. He'd be like, no. And I'd be like, yeah. We'll see.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to get her mom and then I'm going to get Cal. And when Cal does his in the comment section, I want...
Who's the funniest?
And all right, cool. So now we got a challenge. We got a couple good people that are coming on next. And I need to tell you how much I appreciate your friendship.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
Thanks for always supporting my business. You know I always support yours.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, love you.
Love you.
Success.